April of 1977, Marvel Star Wars Issue 1 hit newsstands with a 30-cent cover a full month before the release of the film. The sales were modest, at least until the release of the film, when all of a sudden stores couldn't keep it in stock. Around this same time, Marvel was starting to wonder if they could ask fans to pay a little more for comic books. Just a year earlier, they had jumped from 25 cents to 30 cents. After a test market showed it didn't really decrease sales. So it was time to test again. This time to try to jump the sales to 35 cents. A handful of titles was selected to test market at 35 cents, one of those being Star Wars Issue 1. Marvel selected at least 4 cities to test the 35-cent cover in. Those were Mississippi, Tennessee, Toledo, Ohio, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and Wilmington, North Carolina. There's little details on the test marketing of the 35-cent covers, so it's possible that they could have been tested in other cities. However, distribution markings for the comics have all been linked to those cities. When it comes to the 35-cent test cover for Star Wars Issue 1, it's believed that only 1,500 copies were printed and spread out between the 4 cities. The cover of the comic looks the same as the 30-cent cover, except the top left corner of the comic book. The normal 30-cent cover has the price 30 cents inside a square block, along with the issue number, title, and month. But of course, the test marking 35-cent cover has 35 cents. Out of the 1,500 prints issued that hit newsstands, only a third are believed to be still around today, with only a little over 200 known to have been graded. Out of those, only 15 are known to be graded at a mint 9.4. In September 2021, a 9.4 graded 35-cent test marketed cover sold for $32,000. That's a huge profit for someone that bought a comic book in 1977 for 35 cents. Before you run to your comic book box or your local comic book store looking for that 35-cent price on their Issue 1 Star Wars comic, it must be noted that not all 35-cent covers are the test marketed issue. But the 35-cent market test, it showed Marvel that they could raise the price. And with Star Wars becoming a huge seller, Marvel ordered reprints to be done to match the demand. And those reprints had the issue cover marked 35 cents. Most of those will say reprint next to the image of Luke Skywalker. However, some do not. One way to be sure if yours is a reprint or not is the shape of the price area. All reprints have a 35 cent inside the diamond, while the test marketed 35 cent covers are all in a square. It also must be noted that there's been a number of fakes made of the rare cover to try and fool buyers. For those, look closely at the 5 in 35 cent, and it's a little off, being lower than it should be. If you only can find the original 30-cent cover, don't feel too bad. It can be worth, in good condition, around $500 to $600, with even a reprint issue running for around $50.